Democratic leader, the South Carolina Congressman James Clyburn. Sir, it's nice to see you. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
You said during the commercial break that you think these next 4 or 5 months will define this man's presidency and that tonight's an important part of it. How important, and what do you need to hear?
Well, I think the president has laid out an agenda of optimism.
An agenda of optimism?
Yes. He's talking about opportunities. He's talking about taking action. He's talking about presenting things to the Congress in hopes that Congress will respond. And if they don't, I think that he is prepared to use his executive authority in some ways he's not seemed prepared to use it before.
He made that clear, and he has in recent days. His team has made that clear. He's obviously going to do that on some new federal workers who will be paid a higher minimum wage. Republicans are saying, you better be careful.
Well, he's always been careful. I think a little bit too careful for my liking. I think the president has to be bold. The country needs bold leadership. And I don't think he can lay back and wait on things. He's going to have to step out front, let the country know exactly where he's trying to go. And I do believe that Congress will find it necessary to respond.
Well, there are a lot of members of Congress who, were they to respond to something that the president wants, they would face a challenge from the right. And that is one of the things that his aides are talking to us about ad nauseum now.
Yes.
That there's no way past that. But when you start going by executive order, the risk of fracturing the country in a way even more than it is today is high.
Well, that may be
dangerous.
true, but I remind people of history, and I don't think we've got much more to go on. Slavery was ended by executive order, not by any legislative fiat. The military in this country was integrated by executive order. In the country, Congress and everybody else came along afterwards. It was after Lincoln's bold leadership that led to the end of slavery. It was Truman's bold leadership that led to an integrated armed forces.
And a similar kind of bold leadership from this president would lead to what?
I really think it would lead to the Congress coming along because the American people will respond positively. He could do it on immigration. He could do it on...
it sounds like we're close to an immigration reform deal with House Republicans.
That's quite true, and I hope that's where we are.
So what would he need to do, not legislatively, but by executive order, that would move us forward in the ways you just described?
Well, look at ENDA, employment discrimination against gays and lesbians. I think that that's something he ought to use executive order to do. Now, we've got 202 people who are co-signing the bill, wanting to come along. Just do it, and let's see what happens.
It sounds like people in his base want him to be bold and want him to take risks.
Well, I do. I've always believed that the country offering is ahead of us here in Washington. And all you got to do is look at the surveys, and you can see that the American people want immigration reform. These members in the Congress seem not to want to do it. And so I think that if the president gets out with the American people, Congress will come along.
Congressman Clyburn, it's great to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we'll speak with a Republican on the same matters right after this.